Hello everyone. Welcome to our product presentation. Our product name is FactFinder and our team name is Justice League. Next slide, please. So before moving on, let's talk about the agenda for our presentation. So first, we will talk about our team members. Later on, we will talk about the things that we have worked on based on the professor's feedback. And then we will talk about the description, about the project description. We will get an overview of how our application will work. Then we will have our teamwork agreement. The teamwork agreement is used so that all the members inside in the team, how they will coordinate and how they will collaborate and work together so that they can achieve a particular goal. So for this, we have our teamwork agreement. Then we will have our personas. We have personas of business owner, fitness trainer, and community activist. We will talk more about that. Later on, we have minimal viable product, which shows which is our application itself. Then we have technologies and algorithms, the technologies which we have used to build this superb application. Then we will have our diagrams, which are architecture diagram, sequence diagram, ER diagram, class diagrams. So basically the inside architecture, the database structure, the workflow, how the information will come into our application, how we will process that information, all that diagrammatically we have shown it. After that, we have sprint 3 recap. We will have our product backlog, which will be cover and inside that we have all the user stories. Then we have sprint 4 backlog, test cases, and in the metrics, we will show the burn down chart, velocity report, and then we have our retrospective, which is what went well, what could be improved. That thing we have in our retrospective. And lastly, we have project demo, which will consist of screenshots and live application demo. Next slide, please. So we have we have 8 team members in our team. Suraj Saluke, who is quality analyst and developer. Manthan Kale is a scrum master and developer. Kavita Kamtekar is a full stack developer. Saurabh Chaudhary is a product manager and developer. Gayatri Kulkarni again is a developer. Maheshwari is a developer. Sai Kumar is developer and designer, and Rushabh is a developer and designer. Next slide, please. So we have worked on our feedback, which is given by professor. So we have updated our product backlog and user stories for the product backlog. Then we have elaborated more on the technologies and algorithm. We have included the diagrams and we have improved our velocity report as well. And in the user stories, we have included the estimation points so that the charts and everything is prepared well. And then lastly, we have our live application demo, and in the test cases, we have included the status as well. So next slide will be explained by Maheshwari.
So project description. FactFinder is a web application that is designed to combat online misinformation by differentiating between fake and real news. Additionally, it can also provide summary of the news content. And it is for anyone who is concerned about online misinformation and facing time constraints for reading news articles. This web application uses machine learning and deep learning algorithms to detect fake news. Unlike believing any information you find on the internet, our application verifies the authenticity of the information and saves time by creating summaries of articles. The benefit outcomes of our application are ensuring the authenticity of the information, which is credibility of the news articles, saves valuable time by generating summaries of the articles by providing key points, and most importantly, it contributes to the fight against misinformation. Next slide, please. So, team working agreement. Our main goal is to create a successful collaborative project, which we were able to achieve through frequent Zoom meetings where each and every team member participated actively and put forward their opinion. And finally, we were able to agree on one thing and started working collaboratively by helping each other through challenges. And finally, we were able to complete the project successfully. Next slide, please. In personas, we have Maria, who is a 35-year-old community activist working on a social justice issue. She recognizes the role of misinformation in shaping public opinion and wants to fight against these false narratives that may undermine her advocacy efforts. Maria is motivated to use the web application as a tool to verify the credibility of the information before sharing it within her community. Her goal is to empower her community with reliable information. And by leveraging the web application, she aims to strengthen the credibility of her advocacy work. Next slide, please. And next persona, we have David, who is a 38-year-old small business owner whose business heavily relies on its online presence for customer engagement. And he's concerned about certain misinformation impacting the reputation of his business. And this web application is crucial for David to verify news and updates related to his industry. And his primary goal is to safeguard his business reputation. And by using this web application, he aims to prevent the spread of false information regarding his business or industry related anything that could harm customer trust and loyalty. His motivation is to maintain transparency and integrity in his business communications. Next slide, please. And in this persona, we have Michelle, who is a 31-year-old fitness and health enthusiast who frequently relies on online health related information. And with the abundance of health related news articles and social media posts, Michelle often encounters conflicting information. And this web application is valuable for him to differentiate between credible and misleading health information. Michelle's primary goal is to maintain a healthy lifestyle and share accurate health advice with his followers. And by using this web application, he aims to avoid the spread of misinformation regarding health and fitness news articles and share only accurate and credible health advices within his community, contributing to a more informed and health conscious online environment. And next slide will be presented by my teammate Kavita.
Thank you, Maheshwari. So this is the MVP of our application FactFinder. So first, the user will also be able to check the news without having an account in FactFinder. So yeah, and once the user has the access, like he will be access to home page first. And on the homepage tab, you will be able to see a fake news, a short video of a fake news. Then user should also navigate to the verify news tab. So there is a verify news tab where a user is allowed to put a text or article or fact in a text box. Then the user can also click on a summarize button to create a summary of a news article. So the user are also allowed to create a summary of any big articles. Then user will click on verify news button or a summary button. So there is a button, separate button for verify news and the summary button. Then the system will then generate this response based on the ML model. Then the user will also be able to get a response if the news or text is a fake or real. And additionally, there is a about us tab which will display about the explanation of the website and it does and it how it what it does and how it works. So another there is a team tab which we have added in Sprint 4, which will display the explanation of each and every team members who have contributed to develop this FactFinder application. And there is a 10th is the user can register with email ID and password, and user should be able to click on a submit button. So once the user is registered, the user can log in with the same email ID and password, And after logging successful, the user should see the following tabs such as verify news, blog, search history, and a chat, etc. So the user can click on a blog tab and post any latest news or facts for any extra information for the people to display. It can be anything, if it's a fake news or a real news, it can be any post. Then user can also comment on a particular blog if that user wants to give their own opinions on that particular facts. Then user can also click on a chat tab. So in the chat tab, there is a chat option where user can have a conversation with the like-minded people to discuss about any latest news for them more information. Can you go to the next slide? Yeah, so this slide will be explained by Saurav.
Thank you, Kavita. For technology, for our project, we divided basically in 4 parts. The front-end parts, the back-end part, and the database and the frameworks and library we used in our project. So for front-end development, we used JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. So as we all know that JavaScript is a object-oriented programming language. So it is primarily used for creative, interactive, and dynamic web application. As Kavita already told in a previous slide, that we created a dynamic web application where user can interact with other users, or user can enter any kind of news to get the result, whether the news is fake or real. Also, it can generate summary. So, so the main functionality of JavaScripts are, it is a client-side scripting language, meaning it can run on users' web browsers. So we can easily, any user can open the web browser and run the application on it. It's not like that you need a web server where you need to run on the web servers. Also, it can interact with the DOM, document object model of web page. So we can manipulate DOM using JavaScripts like adding events, button clicks, keyboard inputs, or form submission, as it's a essential part of our project that user can submit a form which as a news. It also support synchronized programming using callbacks, promises, and await feature as well. JavaScript also support all major web browser, making it universal language for web development. And lastly, it can support many frameworks and libraries such as React.js, Angular, Node.js, and many more. Also, like I said earlier, we used HTML5 as well. So hypertext markup language 5. It is a latest version of HTML language. It introduced many new features like semantic markup, such as header, footer, nav, article, section, which improved overall structure, DOM structure of and the accessibility of web content. It also support audio and video element as well. And lastly, the CSS. As we all know, CSS is a style sheet language used for styling the HTML and XML document. For the backend, we use Python. Python is a object-oriented high-level language. It is well known for its simplicity, readability, and versatility. Its syntax is designed to be clear and readable, very much like an English language. You don't need to enter semicolon after each line, or you can just use as a normal English language. Python is one of the popular programming language, especially for machine learning. So our project is based on machine learning and deep learning. So that is why we choose Python as our main backend language. It has so many libraries and frameworks, especially designed to for machine learning and deep learning, like NumPy. We used NumPy in our project while coding the backend part. It is NumPy is very useful when it comes to create a multi-dimensional array. We also use the famous pandas library. It is a very most useful data manipulation library which provide data structure like data frames. So we used data frames. To train any kind of machine learning or deep learning model, we need some data to train it. So, and all the data is usually comes in a JSON format or CSV format. So with the help of pandas, we can easily create a data frame out of any kind of CSV file. For another one is scikit-learn. It is a machine library which is ideal for data mining and analysis. It many algorithm for classification like regression, clustering, and model evaluation. For the classification of our data frame, we use logistic regression to classify whether the news is fake or real. So we use that scikit-learn linear model library for it. And as I mentioned earlier, that to train any supervised machine learning model, we need data to feed to that model, and we can train that data on it. So for that, we use and for that, we have to split our data into trained data and test data as well. So we use scikit-learn model selection for it. And for deep learning, for summary part, where user can have that news summary from a news article, we use two libraries, TensorFlow and PyTorch. These deep learning these are frameworks, are the main tools to build and train neural networks for many machine learning tasks. We use these library for natural language processing for our project. For our project, we created a RNN neural network using TensorFlow Keras model. For framework, we used Flask. It is a lightweight and flexible web framework, especially designed for Python. It is ideal for building small web application. It is well suited for us as our project is not that big to use other framework like AWS or other. Flask is often referred to as a micro framework because it provides the essential for building web application without imposing strict rules or dependencies. Flask uses a simple, intuitive routing system to map all the URLs. Like in front end, when a user user generate a it is like a for we using Flask, we created three endpoints especially. One is for summary part, one is for process part, and one is for simple routing. Flask include a built-in template engine it's called Jinja 2, which allow anyone to generate HTML content dynamically by combining templates with data from Python code. The other framework we used is React. React is for front end. React is a JavaScript library for building user interface. It is particularly single page application that requires dynamic and interactive UI. So it use component based architecture in which UI are divided into reusable component, like we can reuse the code again and again. It created by Facebook and still they are using it. React use virtual DOM to maintain the UI hierarchy. If we if we change in any code, that will apply firstly to the virtual DOM and then reconciled with the actual DOM. So resulting it's a minimum update in the code. So it introduced a JavaScript XML syntax, meaning you can write a HTML-like code directly into your JavaScript file. For database, we used Firebase. Firebase is a real-time database. As we are not maintaining like huge amount of data of users, so that is why we went for Firebase database. It is a cloud-hosted NoSQL database. It is perfect for our kind of application. It is provided by Google as part of Firebase platform. It allowed developer to store and synchronize data in real time between clients and servers, which enable the development of responsive and collaborative web and mobile application. It used basically, as it's a NoSQL, so it used JSON data model to store the structured data. It support built-in offline data as well. For algorithm, we use machine learning algorithm, especially we use that scikit-learn library. It is a like most powerful and widely used open source machine library for Python. It has many supervised and unsupervised learning algorithm, but we use supervised algorithm, especially the logistic regression, because we are classifying the data between fake or real. So it was perfect for our project. As I mentioned, so here you can see that we import all the necessary libraries, and we split our data into input matrix, which is X, and the target vector, which is Y. And then we split our data into training and testing data, and then we apply the logistic regression model to it. So for summary part, we use two algorithm. The recurrent neural network. It is a LSTM recurrent neural network, and other one we used BART transformer. So here you can see that this one is for the RNN neural network. We split our data, then we fed to our model and train using our the data we have. And for BART transformer, it is a bidirectional and autoregressive transformer. It is developed by Facebook, and so as for any kind of supervised learning, we need like lots of data to train our model, any kind of model. This BART transformer neural network model is already trained, like pre-trained with huge amount of data. So that is why this, in our case, this model outperformed our LSTM RNN model. Next slide will be presented by my friend Sai.
Hi friends, thank you Saurabh. So coming to the architecture diagram, I start with the user information. So user information required like login, for the login functionality, email, password. These two information is required. For the news information, we can take from the other articles or own articles. We can mention that. And history is the part of the news information, which is presenting in the verify news option. So features which we have created: post functionality, chart functionality. So it is the additional feature for the fake news detection and the summarizing detection. So after this process, data pre-processing is the next step. So which we mentioned in the verify news option. So it will goes to the NLP process. So NLP is the natural language process. It is a human-based language. It is a NLP helps computers understand and analyze the human language. Information extracts follows from the NLP. So these steps involves identifying the key points and details from the next data. So after it will analyze the information based on the NLP, it will directly goes to the model. So based on the model trained, it will predict it is a false or true based on the discussion making. The algorithm is a trained which Saurabh mentioned that is the algorithm. So can you go to the next slide? So this is the sequence diagram. So starts with the user interface. So which I said earlier in the architecture diagram. So user interface starts with the user authentication. So login email and the password is required from the user end. But the fact verification from the back end is required for the news verified information. So based on the upload functionality, it will direct to the backend server. So it will get a acknowledgement to the user. This is the actual functionality of the sequence diagram. So it will store the all the information which we mentioned in the verify news. It will stored in the history part. That is the feature which we have additionally included. That is the name of the feature is search history part. Can you go to the next slide? And this is the ER diagram. It start with the email and password, which I mentioned the authentication is required for the user. So it directly go to the part. Upload news is the verified news feature. So where we can upload all the information in that store. So it directs to the database and the database is stored information which we can see in the search history feature. Not only that, it calls the API, it directs to Python code. It is by using the Flask framework, it analyzes the code, and based on the NLP code, it will show it will decide the true or false based on the algorithm decision making. So it will get a response that true or false. And not only that, summary part is also there. It is similar kind of API, same functionality of the that API. Can you go to the next slide? Yes, this is the class diagram. We have created a few tables in the database. It is connected as a class diagram. Starts with the end user, which I mentioned the requirements attributes or email password. After that, next we go to the step is news, which we mentioned in the news. Sorry, I missed that part. Registration is required. To start with login functionality, and forget option for forgot password is also there. If the user forgets his password, so forget password is a functionality is also there. That is the register feature. So based on the register feature, it will create a login session for the user. So if the login functionality starts directs, it opens two features, that is search history feature, and block feature. And one more thing activates the news functionality, and summary functionality is also activated. These two features enabled, and these two functionalities has enabled. Starts with the news functionality. The first functionality is verify news button. So based on the information which we mentioned, it API get response from there. It will show an output like this is a real, this is a fake, like that message will be pop up. This is the verify news functionality, and the second one is a summary functionality. The summary functionality that helps to summarize the few points of the which we have given the information. So that is the summary functionality. And coming to the blogging table, the attributes which we have given, blogs, news, and facts. And comment on the blog is the functionality of the blog feature. So while we post, comment feature is also one of the functionality given by the blog. So if you want a comment for the blog functionality, we can, there is an option for called comment. If you click that comment, we can comment for the post. And not only that, there is one more feature to the blog functionality, that is upload option. So upload blog option helps that post the new post based on, for example, if verified the news from the verified news functionality, I got a information, so I thought that is a fake, so I want to show this information to my friends, so I want to mention in the blog. So upload blogs helps that to post a new content. So chat functionality is also there. I want to talk with the new person or existing person I want to talk. So you use chat functionality is a helps. So select user is the function for the chart feature. We can select the user. Based on the selection of the user, it will be side pop-up for the user. So not only that, for the start conversation, we can which we have selected the user, we can start the conversation with the selected user. These are the two functionality functions I have there for the chart feature. This is the class diagram. Can you go to the next slide? Now my friend will explain this part.
Thank you, Sai. In Spring 3 recap, we will discuss what we all cover in Spring 3. So we connect the React with Flask app. Then we connect the Flask app with the model. Then we create a Firebase account. Then we add the Firebase authentication. And then we add the Firebase real-time database. And then we updated the Firebase database rule. Then we add the Firebase configuration in React app. Then we give the login register. Then we add the reset password functionality. Then we make the chat function available. Then we completed the burn down chart. Then we completed the test cases. Next slide, please. Yeah, in backlog, the backlog is of Spring 2, Spring 3, and Spring 4. So as considering the user stories, as a business owner, I want to be able to log in to the application so that I can access the website. With this user story, the app's acceptance criteria will be first to log in the page with the valid credential and then click on login button. That will redirect to the home page. If the login credentials are invalid, so the error message should be indicated like the user name is not recognized or a password. So next user story is as a security measures. I want my account to be logged after a certain number of unsuccessful login attempts. So for this user story, the acceptance criteria will be the user has made multiple login attempts when they have done maximum attempts are reached, and the user account should be logged. When the logged account when the user tries to log in, then the display it displayed the indication that the account is locked. Next slide, please. In this user story, as a fitness coach, I want to register on a website to access exclusive features and personalized content. In this scenario, the registration will be successful, but when it enters a valid information like first name, last name, email address, and password, then the user will click on to the register button. Then it should got a confirmation message indicating that they have made the successful registration. As a user story of 9, As a potential leader, I want to learn more about the application and its creators to understand its purpose and credibility. So the scenario would be accessing the about page, then it gives the home, it directs to the home page. When it navigates to the about page tab, the system should display information about the purpose of the application and its creators, and its another relevant details. So next user story is, as a business user, I want to easily find and access the content information to reach out for the support or inquiries. So the scenario would be accessing contact page, then it taps to the contact, it navigates to the contact tab. Then the system will display the contact information or a form of users to get in to get in touch. Next slide, please. In this user story, the business owner will have a user-friendly interface where I can easily input news content for fact checking. In this acceptance criteria for this user story, the input text box should be prominently displayed on the web page or main landing page. So the interface should be inclusive and easily understand for the users or all the background. So the users will get the clear feedback after submitting the news content for fact checking. So the next user story is a fitness coach. I want to receive a fact checking results in timely manner without significant delay. That optimize the acceptance criteria for this, that optimize the speed and efficiency of the fact checking, and the user should receive a result within a responsive time frame after submitting a new content. The web pages should indicate it delay due to the high traffic or other technical issues. The next user story is, as a political leader, I want to be able to view details, analysis, and source for the fact check news articles. So for this user story, the acceptance criteria will be, along with the determination of whether the news is fake or true, the user should be provided details, analysis, and source. The analysis should give the reason of determination, such as misleading information or lack of source. The source should be checkable, and it allows the users to verify the information independently. So the next user story is, as a community activist, I want to get a brief summary of the news articles so that they have quick understanding of the news to share to the people. For this user story, the acceptance criteria will be, the user must be able to check and validate the news and must be able to also get a summary of an article that was pasted in the text box. Next slide, please. For for the next user story, as a business owner, I want to be directed to accurate pages on the website so that to navigate smoothly throughout the website. This user story acceptance criteria will be, the users should be able to navigate freely without any bugs and navigational errors to all the tabs developed for the site. For the next user story, and fitness influencer want to find out about the contributor of the website, and so that to connect with them and know more about the team. So the acceptance criteria for this will be, it will go to about page so that all team members information can be viewed accordingly. As an sport influencer, I want to able to view my search history so that I can go back and check if I want to retrieve any historic information. So the acceptance criteria will be, there should be a dedicated sections or a page of the website where I can view my search history, and the search history should be displayed in a clear and organized manner, showing that the date and time of each search. The next user story is, as a business owner, I want to connect to other business owners through online chat functions so that I can express my views about the new articles. For this, acceptance criteria will be, the website should indicate a community forum or a discussion board where the user can create a post or comment on the post with each other, and the user should able to join a specific topic in a group or in community within the platform. Next slide, please. In this user story, as a community activist, I want to able to automatically see the options to copy the clipboard so that I can copy the summary if I want to use and share with others. So for this, acceptance criteria will be, to copy the clipboard pop-up. it should be automatically be available for the user's convenience if the user want to copy the summary. Next user story, as a business owner, I should be uploaded post related news so that I can make sure the news is correct throughout the user feedback. For this, acceptance criteria will be the user should be able to upload the text blog to the portal and the users should be able to read it. The next user story is, as a business owner, I want to comment on a blog. So to create by other users so that I have a valid news post on the blog. So for this, acceptance criteria will be the user must be able to write a text comment on the blog post by other users and it should be visible to other users. Next slide, please. Yeah. So for the Spring 2 summary, we all have discussed regarding the Spring 2. So first we created the home page, then we created the UI updates. Then we created a login page, then we covered test cases, burn down chart, architecture diagram. Then we created a register page, then we created about page. Then we created verify news page. Then we finalized MVP requirements. Then we uploaded source code on GitHub. Then we created product backlog. And then we covered the backend testing. Next slide, please. Oh. For this summary, previous slide. For the summary of Spring 2, we have lagged for due to the due to time management or time and coordination. After continuous feedback from the professor, we could able to achieve um, the summary for Spring 2. Next slide, please. Spring 2 summary. As the user story mentioned earlier, as a business owner, I want to be able to log in into the application so that I can access the website. For this, it's considering the with the valid credential of login, the users can redirect to the home page. Next user story, as a security measures, I want my account to be locked and after a certain number of unsuccessful login attempts. So in this, if users do multiple login attempts, the maximum allowed attempts are reached and then the user's account will be locked. As a fitness coach, I want to register on the website to access exclusive features and personalized content. In this, it is given as a registration page where it can enter the valid information and then it will register and give a confirmation message indicating successful registration. Next, user story. As a potential leader, I want to learn more about the application and its creators to understand its purpose and credibility. For this, it can be navigated by the about us tab, and then it shows in the system displaying the purpose of application and creators and other relevant tabs details. So next user story is the business users. I want to easily find and access the content information, reach out for a support or inquiry. For this, it will navigate to the content tab and the system shows the displaying contact information or a form for users to get in touch. Next slide, please. In the Spring 3, we all covered the Spring 3 requirements by connecting the React with the Flask tab. Then we connect the Flask tab with the model. Then we created a Firebase account. Then we add the Firebase authentication. Then we added the Firebase real-time business database. Then we updated the Firebase database rule. Then we add the Firebase configuration in the React app. Then we gave login registration. Then we add the reset password functionality. Then we make the chat function available. Then we covered the burn down chart and the test cases. From this Spring 3, we came to know the it for with the continuous feedback with the continuous feedback given by the professor, we could able to achieve the Spring 3 by attempting the task. Next slide, please. In Spring 3, we cover the user stories. As a business owner, I want to access to user-friendly interface where I can easily input news contents for fact checking. In this user story, the acceptance criteria will be the input text box should be prominently displayed on the web page, the home page, or a main page. In the next user story, as a fitness coach, I want to receive a fact-checking result in timely manner without significant delay. So in this user story, the acceptance criteria will be optimized for the time and efficiency. The third user story is a political leader. I want able to view all the details, analysis, and source of the fact-check news articles. So this for this user story, the acceptance criteria will be compared between fake or true. In the next user story, community activist, I want to get a brief summary of the news article so that I have a quick understanding of the news to share it with the people. In this, user will be able to check and validate the news and then must be able to get a summary article, and that will be pasted in the text box. Next slide, please. In the Spring 4 backlog, in the user story, we all mentioned as a community activist, I want to get a brief summary of the news article so that I can have a quick understanding of the news to share with the people. In this user story, we also added the status. So we added the status at completed. We have completed the user story with the acceptance criteria, as a user must be able to check and validate the news, and then we must able to also then we able to get the summary of an article that was pasted in text box. The second user story we have completed with estimated time 3. So as a business owner, I want to direct to accurate page on website so that I can navigate smoothly throughout the website. And the acceptance criteria is the user should be able to navigate freely without any bugs and navigation errors to all tabs developed in the site. Then third user story, as a fitness influencer, I want to find out about the contributors of the website so that I can connect with them or know more about the team. So in this, estimated time is 3, and we have completed task by acceptance criteria. The about us page should have all the team information and way of connecting with them. The fourth user story is, as a sports enthusiast, I want to able to search history so that I can go back and retrieve my historical information. For this, we have completed a task by estimate time 8. There should be a dedicated sections or on page on the website where I can view my search history, and the search history should be displayed in a clear and organized manner, showing the date and time of each search. Next slide, please. So the Spring 4 backlog with the status. So first user story is, as a business owner, I want to connect to other business owners through online chat functions so that I can express my views about the news article. So for this, the estimated time is 8, and we have completed the task by the acceptance criteria. The website should include a community form or a discussion board where we can create points on comment uh, on each other's views, and users should able to join specific topic-based group or community within the platform. Second user story, as a community activist, I want to able to automatically see the options to copy and to the clipboard so that I can copy the summary if I want to use the share with others. So for this acceptance we have completed the task, and the estimated time is 3. So for this acceptance criteria is to copy the clipboard pop-up will automatically be available for the users for the convenience if the users want to copy the summary. The third user story is, as a business owner, I should be able to upload post related to news so that I make the news is correct for the user's feedback. For this, the status is completed and estimate time is 5. Users should be able to upload blog to the portal, and other users should be able to read it. The fourth user story is, as a business owner, I want to comment on the blog post created by other users so that I can validate the news posted on the blog. For this, except the status is completed and estimated time is 4, and we have acceptance criteria, as user must be able to write a text comment on blog posted by other users and should be visible to other users. So next slide. Next slide will be explained by Suraj.
Thank you, Gayatri. So, these are the test cases we planned for sprint 4. So, it has the name of test case, objective, like the result expected, and the test data, simply the steps to follow, and the status of the test case. So, we have all the test cases for this sprint as a pass. So, starting with the first one is to validate the news article. So, the objective is to validate the news article. So, there will be no errors in it. So, second one is the invalid news article. We tried pasting the blank statements on the news article. So, it should give a error. The next one is retrieving summary on the news article. The objective is to ensure that the user can retrieve a summary of a pasted news article. Next, the summary generation for long news articles. So to test the system's ability to generate a summary for a long news article, which are 2 or 3 pages. Next, we have few test cases where we tested the navigation of the system. We tested clicking on every buttons, and they should direct to the specific page, like home page, about page, and else. So next one is navigating to chat functionality. This is to ensure the mm, user can navigate to chat functionality correctly. So next is a presence of team information. So this is about us section where all the team member information should be present. So next slide. So here the next test case is connecting with the team members. This is to verify the user can connect with the team member through their email ID or any social media account. So next one is accessing search history section. This is to verify that the user can access the dedicated section or a page viewing its search history. Next one is to display the search history entries. All the search entry should be displayed with time stamp. Next is a chat interface display. Here the user should be able to display the screen where he or she will be inserting his chats. Next one is initiating a chat. This is to verify that the user can initiate a chat conversation with other business owners. Next one is receiving a chat response. If two people are chatting, both should be connected through a server and should be able to chat with each other in a real time. Next slide. Okay, this is a summary feature test case. This is to verify the summary text is successfully copied to the clipboard to verify that the summary text is successfully copied to the clipboard. So the status of this test case is not applied because we didn't completed this user story. Next one is accessing post upload functionality. This is to verify that the user can access the post upload functionality on a website. So next one is uploading a blog post. This is to ensure that the user can successfully upload a post related to the news. Next one is accessing comment functionality. This is to verify that the user is able to comment on the post which are posted by other users. Posting a comment functionality is to ensure that the user can successfully post a comment to a blog post. Next one is a visible of a comments, to ensure that the comment posted by the other users will be visible to other users as well. That's it. Next slide. So this will be taken care by.
Thank you. Thank you, Suraj. So basically, thank you. So basically, we'll be discussing about the metrics of our team. So it's very important to understand the metrics because it can help us understand our team velocity and also how we performed and how we can basically improve our sprints and for the next coming sprints. So I'll start with the team velocity. So for sprint 2, as we can see, the velocity chart explains what the estimated work estimated task is on the gray, and the green part is what we completed. So for sprint 2, we had about 18 points of user stories, and we completed about 18 of them, and the committed was also 18. So we were able to achieve a 100% ratio on sprint 2. And then as you can see on sprint 3, we can on the gray it shows that we had about 78 stories that we committed. for, and then we completed about 70 of it. So and then the ratio came down to 89. So we weren't able to achieve all the tasks that were assigned to the team for sprint 3. Moving on to the next slide. Here is the team velocity graph for sprint 4. So as you can see, we here we can see that we had about 44 stories that were assigned to the team, and then we completed about 41 worth of story points with the team, which brings our ratio to 93.18%. So we still have very good. So then we can discuss about what the average team velocity was. So we had about 97.99% average completion rate, so which is pretty close to 100. So we almost completed the work that was assigned in all of the sprints. Moving on to the next slide. So here, as we can see, we have the burn down chart. So on the burn down chart, as you can see, we have the actual line, and we also have what we completed. So here we can see that for the sprint 2, basically we didn't start off very well. For the first few days, we were behind schedule, and then later on we started picking up a lot of stories. So as we come into day 3 and day 4, we were actually on track for the for until the day 9, and then we had to pick up a bit more of the work, and then we were ahead of what the estimated line was, and then later on we were able to achieve what we had until day 12. So we were able to achieve all the stories for sprint 2. For the sprint 3, as we can see on the yellow line is what we committed for, and then we were a bit behind schedule, which is a bit of a trend with our team, where we usually don't pick up a lot of stories at the beginning of the sprint, but then we start picking up on the later half of the sprint. So as you can see, around day 3 and day 4, we were on track. We were some points, so at a point around day 7 or 8, we were a bit behind schedule as well. But then again, as we came closer to the end of sprint 3, we were able to achieve all the stories that we had for the actual line. Moving on to the next slide. So yeah, for average, basically that the average explains the whole uh, everything that we accounted for, and then we basically at start we had everything on track. Later on, we were a bit slow. We picked up more stuff, and then we had completed overworked, a bit behind schedule before the end of it, and then we were able to complete everything. So the next slide. So here we have the sprint for retrospective. So we had this was our last retrospective. We had a lot of good discussions in the retrospective for. So we discussed about a lot of things, like what went well, what can be improved, and so we basically gave everyone first 5-10 minutes to discuss what did go well and what can be improved. So basically, the team came up with a lot of cards on it. So we had very good communication within the team throughout the project. The time management was really well within the team. We had a bit of technical discussions as well, but the team collaboration was excellent this time. We had continuously improved on our communication and the backlog completing tasks. The team was helping uh, each other to complete all the stories. We also have the professor feedback, which was very helpful for sprint 4. We made a lot of mistakes in sprint 3, which we covered in sprint 4 as well. So that was one of the important feedback which helped us, which was a very good thing for sprint 4. And then everyone took responsibility. So everyone picked up their stories, they worked on it. If they had any issues, they were coordinating with the team and completing all everything that was required. So and also we have the what can be improved. So basically, we discussed what issue we had within the team, which the things that we can improve. So some prompt issue management was there. So we worked on that. So basically, that is one part which could have been improved. One thing that we missed was the wiki review. So on the wiki review, we had to review, like we should have made sure that everyone reviewed the wiki page and all the links were working. Also, there was issue with GitHub commits where the whole team was not able to commit on GitHub, so that everyone is accounted for in the team for their work, what they've made progress on. And then we also have the estimation for the user stories was a bit off as well. So that was a part which I thought could have been improved, which the team thought could have been improved. So based on all those discussion, then we discussed what are the next steps that we can follow. So the next steps that we can follow based on what went well and what can be improved was make UI more interactive. We discussed that for the next sprint, or if any future enhancement we want to make, we can make it more interactive. We can add report buttons to the feature. We can push code daily so that like we don't have to wait until everything is finished. We can basically start committing what we have done in the day. Everyone should use their own branch because we were having some merging issues in the main as well. And then we also made sure like everyone verifies each other work and like take responsibility of like making sure like we are on track of about everything. And yeah, we can basically add more features to our applications. That is the part where we discussed a lot of things that we can do for the next steps. So with that, we concluded our sprint for retrospective. Uh, and for the next slide. Yep. So the next slides will be explained by Kavita. Thank you.
Thank you, Manthan. So let's quickly walk through the website screenshot. So this is the FactFinder homepage. So this is a landing page of the FactFinder where you will able to see a small fake news video. Then go to the next slide. Yeah, so once you click on a verify news tab, so you will able to see this UI where you can put a article or a news that you want to check whether it's a real or a fake. So by clicking on a verify news button, you will able to see. And there is another uh, feature that we have added, that is summarize. So summarize will generate a summary of a huge articles. So that will able to give you a small summary of any particular article, and you can have a access to it in a quick way. Can you go to the next slide? Yeah. So this is an example where the article has been entered here, and by clicking on verify news button, so this gives us, this is the article which is an actual news. So this so yeah, can you go to the next slide? And this is an example of a fake news. So we have entered a fake news. So if you want to check whether the news is fake or real, so again, you have to click on a verify news and check whether this is real or fake. So this gives a result as fake news. Can you go to the next slide? Yeah. Now, if there is a huge article and you want to read it in a very short way, so you can just click on a summarize button, and by clicking on a summarize button, you will able to see the short summary of the article on the right side, and by which you will able to read it properly. So yeah, this is the additional feature which we have added in a sprint 4. Can you go to the next slide? Yeah, so this is our about us tab, and on about us tab, this has an purpose where we have indicated what our application is about. It's about accuracy, integrity, and fairness. So how accurate our application is, and how much it is integrated, and how much fair information or result it gives based on what fake news or realness we have. Next slide, please. Yeah, so now this is a login and registration functionality. So when you click on a login button, you will first have a pop-up of registration where you will have to register. And as soon as you have registered, you will get a pop-up of login. Can you go to the next slide? Yeah, so this is a login page where you can log in with the same email ID and password. And once you're logged you will be navigated to the next page. Can you go to the next slide? Yeah. So this is a slide where you'll be navigated, and on this page, you can see the following tabs such as blog, team, or a chat button. So these are the additional tabs and features that we have added. So by clicking on a blog, for example, if you click on a blog tab, can you go to the next slide? Yeah, this is a blog tab. Once you click on a blog tab, you will have a new post section where you can click on a new post and you can enter a post. So in that case, you will able to give your opinions based on, you can share the news that you want to share with everyone, and those posts will be visible to everyone. Can you go to the next slide? Yeah, so this is the post where you will also able to comment on. So this is like a blog or a fact based on where you will able to give comments, or you can give your opinion where what you feel about that article. Then can you navigate to the next slide? No. So this is the chat functionality. So when you click on a chat button, you will see a list of emails. These are the users which has been registered into the FactFinder website, and you can chat with them on a real-time basis. So for instance, if you see this is a Rushabh Singara user with whom I can chat, or we can have chat at any time. So if a user is active, user can able to chat at the same time. So yeah, this is the one more additional feature which we have added. Next slide, please. Yeah, and this is a additional tab. This is our team tab. So when you click on a team tab, you will able to see our team members who have contributed together and developed this website. So this is for another 4 hour on the next slide. Yeah, so we all 8 people have come together and have developed this website. So we have just given a short information about each other and a LinkedIn profile. So this is the link which we will navigate to our profile, and through which we will get more information about each other. And yeah, that's the additional feature we have added. Can you, yeah, so next slide is an API slide, and this will be explained by Sai.
Yeah, thank you, Kavita. So this API we have made with the Flask framework. So Flask framework to create for our application, we have used two app routes, uh, API routes. So one of the API route is that process. For that process, we have used the method called post. Post is the method to 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 add the response to the API. So for the 39th line, it requires the method equal to post. So data is taken in the JSON format. It will calculates the algorithm. So it will comes to the result part. So for the 40th line, result equal to prediction data. And based on the prediction data, it will show in the result, and it will returns to the result part. And coming to the logic of the prediction data is that news data is which we have given the data is the model CSV file, and it retrieves the input text data from the request payload, and it applies to clean and lower by function and pre-process the input text, and it vectorized the pre-processed text using the vectorization. It will generates the code. So we have trained the model, and it has been generated in the pickle format file. So pickle format file is it is the uh, encrypted in the one of the format. So in that format, it will decrypt it again and analyze the code based on the pickle functionality. So it is the machine learning model to predict whether the fake news or actual news on the vectorized text. So the prediction text and confidence levels is also returned as per the responses. Can you go to the next slide? Yeah, which I have said earlier, the prediction of the data, it checks it checks that this is the news, is the fake or this is the actual news. So at the 63 line is the app we are calling. That is the main function of that. Yeah, this is the functionality of the process API route. Can you go to the next slide? Yeah, and this is the summary part of the API route, and this is the create a summary out of the news summarization function take uses input as the JSON format. Can you go to the next slide? Or can you go back? At the 20th line, it is the app route summarizer. The method is the post, which we have mentioned in the process route. It is all the same similar way. So we calling the input in the JSON format. So the input uh, JSON format. So the 26th line is the input taken. It should be maximum length is the 1024, which we have restricted the words of the count, and we have used the written tenses. That is the TensorFlow. We that is the open source we have used, and output will be come based on the generated code. So generates a summary of the input text using the BART model, which we have mentioned the route that returns a simple JSON response as demonstrated of Flask API. So process API is a pre-processed and predict authenticity of news text using machine learning. But summarize is the analyzes the text and it generates the new information of the important points based on the existing information. It is also trained a model with the pickle format. Yeah, this is the functionality of the API or API route of summarize. Can you go to the next? Yeah, this is the GitHub link. One of the GitHub link is navigated to the wiki page of our GitHub, and the second link is the source code, which is navigated to the source code of our code. Can you go to the next slide? Yeah, we have a demo application of us, so we are going to present. Can you see the audio, please?
Yeah.
No, it's not audible.
Audible?
No.
No?
No.
It's not audible?
Yes, it is not audible.
Yeah,
Saurabh,
it's
can
not.
you play on a YouTube?
Yeah, sure.
It was YouTube.
It's on YouTube only.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you turn on the system audio as well? Saurabh?
Audio?
So I think if you try to share the screen again and then choose the share system audio
Yeah,
tab,
okay.
Yeah.
it
Okay.
might help. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
So our product name is FactFinder.
It's audible now.
What our product is designed for is to analyze the news, whether the
So
news
guys,
is
to save some
fake
time, should
or
I
false.
do the
So
1.25x?
when the user lands to our website, so that he will first see how fake news
Yes, sir.
widespread and
Yeah.
why it is necessary to combat this information. So if the user wants to check whether his news is correct or fake, he can use this website to identify whether it's authentic or false. So for this, he has to first log in. So once the user is logged in, he can click on the verify news button over here. So here in this section, he can perform two tasks. First is to check whether the news is true or false, and secondly, he can summarize the news as well. So let's say a user has 3 newses and want to check whether the news is true or not. So the first news the user wants to check is this. So in short, this is about a company called Peloton, and this company's market share is declined. So investors are looking for buying this company. So this is about the company, and let's test. Our expected result is true. So let's see how this will react. So yeah, the model analyzed and produced the result that this is an actual news. Now, let's test the another news. This is about Shopify's share. So it is not gaining that much, I would say, income or something. So it was initially strong and now it is weak. So let's see about how our model will say. Our expected result in this case is true. Let me try the entire news article. Verify news. Yeah, so this was an actual news. Again, the model analyzed and produced the result. Now let us test for the false news. So here, this is a false news. Let me refresh the page, add the content. Yeah, so this is a false news. Now, let's consider a scenario in which user wants to chat with another user who has registered to our website. So there could be many reasons why user wants to chat with another user. So suppose he wants to know more that whether this news is true or false. So he can get more information about a particular news by chatting with the user. So this is our chat UI. In this chat UI, on the left-hand side panel, he will be able to see the list of all the users who are registered to our website. So when he will click on any user, suppose if I click on Manthan, user will be able to start a conversation with the selected one. Here in this case, Manthan. So yeah, so whenever Manthan will see, he will get this message and he will reply. Now, let's say user wants to post an article to a website, and this article can be about a news. And let's say if the user wants to check again that whether this news is how authentic this news is, then it could be possible that from the various user, they can reply to that particular news. So here in this blog page, when the user will click, so he will first see all the blogs that other user has posted. And if he wishes to know more about what other people has reacted towards this blog, he can click on this post and see the comment. And he can also provide his own comment as well. And if he wishes to create the new blog, then also he can create a new blog. Here in this case, if I want to make any blog regarding science, and then I'll say how is the future of AI technology? And if I post, user it shows over here, and since like it's new post, it is having no comments. Now if anyone wishes to comment on this post, the comments will be automatically reflected. And lastly, we have the another feature called search history. So in this search history, whatever user has searched, in this case, the verified news. So whatever the user has searched, whether this news is true or detect or false, the entire log comes in search history. So in this case, this is our search history. And if it is greater in size, again, we have our pagination. So this is how the search history is being created. So yeah, so for the first two news, that the Shopify one, it showed the true. Therefore, here it was an actual news. Therefore, in this column over here, it is true. And the one that we searched about the fake news, it showed false. So this was all about our search history page. And yeah, and these are all the searches which were done previously. Yes. Now let's see about our about us page. Here we have our motto, which is accuracy, integrity, and fairness. This means that we provide an accurate analysis of the news, with the help of which the user will be able to make an informed decision, that is integrity. And we have used our AI ML model to provide better result for analysis of the news. Then this is in the team. We have our team members who had worked together to make this fantastic application. We have Sai, me, Rushabh, Saurabh, Kavita, Maheshwari, Manthan, Suraj, and Gayatri, who had contributed their efforts towards creating this phenomenal application. Now, if a user wants to see the summary of the news article, he can do this by using the summary button. So let's say I have this article ready. So here, if I want to summarize this article, I'll be able to summarize this article easily with the help of this website. So when the user will click on the summarize button, here it is showing loading. So this means that this data is being sent to our Python server. So now this data is parsed, is cleaned, and it is analyzed and then fed to the model. The model will analyze this data, and then it will provide its result in the concise form. So here it will take some time because the model and the libraries are huge in size. It is of the size of 2 or 3 GB. Therefore, it is taking some time. But yeah, whatever the result will be shown over here, that would be really worth waiting for. So let's wait for a few minutes, and then we would be able to see the summary of this article. Yeah, here it provide the concise. They have provided the concise output. So with the help of this, user will be able to save the time regarding to so that he can know what the article was about. And if he wants, and in case if in this case it is an article, but if it is in the case of the news, he can also summarize the news. And when he feels that okay, if you want to test the news, he will be able to test the news, and every log, like I would say the if the user wants to see his previous history of what he has searched previously, he would be able to see it in our search history. And if he wants to post something, he would be able to see it in the blog. And if he wants to chat with another user, he can chat in this chat with the help of this chat button. So this was about our FactFinder application. I hope you liked it. Thank you.
Yeah, I think this include our presentation.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
You.